father's perspective regarding our son, John Anderson. If I need to speak up, I'll speak up. I have to admit, I immediately thought about the setting, the number of people, and speaking in front of a large group of people. The panic soon passed. As I thought about our son, GiGi's, and all of the other families we have met over the past few years, I said that I was honored that they had considered me and that yes, I would be happy to tell our story. In order to have John, my wife Kathy and I went through 5 years and our final round of in vitro before we were successful. During her pregnancy, we were told that there were indicators that he may have Down syndrome, or that our child may have Down syndrome. And the doctor suggested an amniocentesis. We told the doctor that we did not want the test, as this would not change anything for us anyway. Our son was born at 10:01 p.m., May 9th, 2005. The day John was born, we were introduced to a new world we knew very little about. We learned shortly after he was born that he did have Down syndrome. The tips of his little ears were turned down, and the nurse that helped deliver him had a panicked look on her face as she assisted John and watched me. This was my first encounter with people in a situation where there's a child born that has Down syndrome. John opened his eyes, he looked straight into mine, as if to say, "I'm here. Are you ready?" Kathy asked me from the other side of the room. She had not seen John yet. "Is he okay?" I said, "Yes, he's fine." He was breathing, his heart was beating, he was fine. John was taken out of the room and placed on oxygen immediately. I told Kathy that I was going to check on him. She still had not been able to see him or be close to him. When I went back to check on him, it was very apparent that those working with John and the other babies in the room were not quite sure what to say to me. It was very quiet. As I approached John, they went about their business, occasionally looking as if to see what my reaction was going to be. I watched my son, and I was so proud of him. He was now with us. I thought about his name as I watched him. My father was John W. Anderson, hence Jr. in my name. My father was killed in an automobile accident when I was 4 years old. Once Kathy and I found out she was pregnant, I was open to select names for a girl if needed. And I was determined that if we had a boy, that we would name him John Anderson III. This was very important to me, and I think I now realize the importance of my father wanting to pass his name on to me. I remember at some point feeling bad for the nurses that were in the room with us. I wanted to thank them for helping my son and tell them it'll be okay. I know something's different about him, but really, he'll be okay. I then put everyone and everything out of my mind, and it seemed like it was only John and I in the room. I watched my son and soon made a silent bond with him, that I would help him and protect him to the best of my ability. Kathy was finally able to see him for the first time 5 hours later. She cried, and I knew the mixed emotions and feelings she was going through. I had some time alone to absorb what was happening. She had not. We had many things to learn in a short amount of time. To us, he was perfect. However, we had family members ask us, how long will it take to go away? Is there a cure? What causes it? We not only had to educate ourselves, but we had to try and educate people around us, including our own families. We have continued to be involved in groups and with people in the Des Moines area since taking him to his first up-down picnic. He was 3 months old at that time. Interacting parents in the same situation seemed to help us the most. We learned that we were not alone. John is now 7 years old, and he seems to make an impact on everyone that he comes in contact with. He has always loved music and seems to be very interested in anything electronic. If Kathy or I or John have any issues with our iPads or our apps, we go to him. When he was in first grade, he participated in his first singing program, which was in front of all the parents and faculty at the school. He could sing all the songs and made all the gestures to the music with the other children. The only difference was he had an associate with him, the other children did not. It was easy to tell that he enjoyed being in front of people, and he tried with all his might to do what the other children could do. He is in second grade now and attends public school in Ankeny. He has great teachers, associates, and therapists that work with him on a daily basis. We have our highs and our lows, but are all working together on his educational plan. At the 2012 Buddy Walk, all of his teachers, associates, and family members came to join John's team and to be supportive for all the families that attended. It was easy to see that they were touched by the events of the day and all of the people that they had come into contact with that day. John has played baseball with the Kiwanis Miracle League for the past 4 years. He enjoys hitting the ball and running the bases, not so much in the outfield. He can often be seen sitting on the ground between second and third base. John also participates in special religious education classes at Our Lady's Immaculate Heart Church in Ankeny, where he will be making his first communion next month. We are often out in the community and always seem to have children run up to us and say, "There's John, I go to school with him."
Oh, you're fine.
We also have parents come up and tell us that they know John from school or other activities that he attends. Most of the time, we have no idea who they are. It seems he's become quite a popular little guy. It's still interesting at times when out in public, there are those that smile and go out of their way to say hello. And there are those that look at John, then look at us, and immediately turn away as if they're uncomfortable. This just serves as a reminder that not all people understand our children and adults with Down syndrome the way we all do. We were recently invited to an event that featured Gladys Knight and her choir here in Des Moines. After the event, she was being escorted out of the church. Her and her husband noticed John and were immediately drawn to him. She came over to John with a big smile, and John grabbed her hand and shook her hand. Her face brightened up, and she looked at us and said, "He's an inspiration." Her husband also had a large smile after shaking John's hand. This was another bright spot in our lives, as we could tell John had touched more people in a special way. He is indeed a special person, and we are very proud of him. We will support him and ensure that he has the opportunity to be as successful as he can be with whatever life has intended him to accomplish. There are still day-to-day challenges that we deal with, some days more than others, but there is no challenge that we can't overcome. We had no idea so much was going on all around us until John helped open our eyes. GiGi's Playhouse has been a large part of John's life and ours since opening in Des Moines. GiGi's has afforded us the opportunity to attend special events, literacy and other learning programs, interaction with other families and people with Down syndrome, and most importantly, to little John, throw some kickin' birthday parties. We should all be thankful that GiGi's has become part of the Des Moines community and help support the Center for those with special abilities. I have learned that there are so many little things in life that encourage, educate, entertain, and help raise the bar for our children. This is what we need to keep doing for them. Set the bar high and continue to have high expectations. If there is a learning technique that is not working, change it. We have learned that we often have to change the way John learns and what motivates him. We have also learned that it takes a lot of patience. Don't give in and do not tell yourself, it is what it is. It's not. Always strive to expect more and never settle for less. We are proud to be supportive and involved with GiGi's, and I am also thankful for everyone that's here tonight. You are a large part of what makes us successful. So thank you very much.